So students, today we will continue with that is atomic structure. The last part we will do. In atomic structure, the last class I said you that is electronic configuration. Now I'll draw some structural diagram and I will show you some electronic configuration. Okay, of some of the elements. You see it very clearly. That is electronic configuration of some of the elements. I am going to draw it. For example, let us take it for sodium. Atomic number 11, mass number 23. So number of protons is 11, number of electrons is also 11 here. Let me write clearly here. Protons 11, electrons 11, and neutrons is 23 minus 11 is 12. So how will I draw it? First, the nucleus, which consists of electrons and that is protons and neutrons. So 12 neutrons and 11 protons. The first shell, which consists of 2 electrons, you can see the first shell 1, 2 in this way. You can put a dot or you can put a cross also, as you wish. Alright, it's up to you. So write the electronic configuration, that's better. Electronic configuration, you write it down so you will understand it. So 281, the electronic configuration, isn't it? 281. So let me write this side because I will be getting the space. That is 281. So first shell we got 2 electrons, second shell is how much it is? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You write it in this way, draw it in this way, pair. You draw it in pair, understood? 2, 2 in this way, it's better. Now the third shell consists of how many? 1 electron. So in this way we draw it. Alright, we represent this is known as the structural diagram of an atom, of an element. The structural diagram of an atom or an element, we can say that. We represent it in this particular manner. Okay, fine. So now next is suppose if I want to represent for another element. Let us say I want to represent it for what is that? Sulfur. Let us say sulfur. Sulfur atomic number 16. So it is nothing but 286. First of all, the electronic configuration 286. Number of protons is 16, isn't it? Number of electrons is also 16, and number of neutrons is sulfur 16 is 32. It is 32 minus 16 is 16. Alright, we got it in this way. Now, so we will draw it. So first the nucleus. Nucleus consists of neutron 16 and proton you can to say 16. First shell, it consists of 2 electrons, as you can see, 2 first shell. Then second shell, it consists of 8 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the last shell consists of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electron. In this way it consists of. As I said you can put a dot here or you can put a cross here. It's up to you. In this way we are drawing the structural diagram of an atom. We are drawing the structural diagram. This is said to be as where we are representing the electrons, protons, neutrons, everything. We are writing the electronic configuration. Now if you ask me that this is a metal or a non-metal, last class I said you, if an electron has in the outermost shell 5, 6 or 7 electrons, it is non-metal. If an if an atom has in the outermost shell 5, 6 or 7 electrons, it is said to be as non-metal. Outermost shell, what I said you last class, it is known as the valence shell. And the electrons in the outermost shell is known as valence electrons. When one particular atom and another atom, valence electrons, they come closer to each other, then what happens? That is either the transfer of electron takes place or the sharing of electron takes place. Again I repeat, let us say here I have taken sulfur and I take oxygen. So the valence electron of sulfur and the valence electron of oxygen, when they come closer to each other, what will happen? Either the transfer of electrons is going to take place or the sharing of electrons is going to take place. Either. So how will you know? That for that purpose you need to read another chapter that is called chemical bonding. When you will study chemical bonding, at that time you will come to know whether it undergoes what you can say sharing of electrons or whether it undergoes transfer of electrons. You will come to know when you will be studying chemical bonding. Okay, in this way the outermost shell is called as the valence shell, and I told you in the last class that the outermost shell, the valence shell, which consists of the valence electrons, they are the free electrons. They can either share or they can either what you can say transfer. Alright, that is they can either lose or they can either gain. Both they can do, isn't it? Like here you can see it is having 6 electrons. It is having tendency to what? To gain 2 electrons. I have explained you all this in the last class. So hence if an element has in the outermost shell 1, 2 or 3 electrons, in the valence shell we call it as metals. If it has got 5, 6, 7, we call it as non-metals. If it has got 4 in the outermost shell, it is known as metalloids. That is, it can either lose or it gain, but it neither loses nor gains. What it does, it shares. Got it? And if it has got 8 electrons in the outermost shell, it is said to be as inert. Got it? All these things we know it. Inert gas or noble gas, we can say that. Got it? Clear? Now, next is the valency also can be. Now, what is a valency? I have told you once again, and let me repeat. Valency means it is a combining capacity of an element. The combining capacity of an element. So, valency, how do you find it out? For example, if an atom has got 1, 2 or 3 electrons in the outermost shell, got it? Its valency is also 1, 2, 3 because it will lose that much. If it is having 1 electron in the outermost shell, it is going to lose 1 electron. So, its valency is also 1. Got it? But if it is having outermost shell 5, 6, 7, for example, you see phosphorus 15, so outermost shell is 2, 8, 5. So, it is going to gain 3 electrons. How do I know it is going to gain 3 electrons? Because what I said you, to become stable, how much it requires in the outermost shell? 8. Because I told you the outermost shell has to be either duplet or octet. So in this case, as it has got 3 cells, if it is one shell, then it will be duplet. But if it has got more than one shell, it will be octet. So here it will have an octet structure if it wants to become stable. Which one? The outermost shell has to be octet structure. Octet means in the outermost shell there has to be 8 electrons in the outermost shell if it is becoming stable. So to become 8, how many electrons is required? Subtract it. 8 minus 5, 3. Alright, similarly, if it is oxygen, oxygen is 8 atomic number. Alright, so it is 2, 6. So here also you can see 2 electrons is required. When I say 2 electrons is required, 2 electrons is required for what? To become the octet structure, to attain the octet structure. Alright, because once it attains the octet structure, it attains stability. So hence, how do I find 2? 8 minus 6. For that is an essay. If an element has got, if an atom has got in the outermost shell 5, 6, 7 electrons in the outermost shell, that's a valence electron. Remember it, that's a valence electron. But the valency is, if it has got 5, then the valency is 3. If it has got 6, the valency is 2. If it has got, let us say chlorine 17, so 2, 8, 7. If it has got 7, the valency is how much? 1. How it is 1, the valency is same formula. 8 minus 7, it is 1. In this way, the valency is this, we can say that. Or more precisely, if it is asked the charge, then they are electronegative in nature because it is gaining 3 electrons. See, it is gaining 3. Alright, it has to gain 3 electrons to attain this 8. It has to gain 2 electrons, here 2 to attain 8. It has to gain 1 electron to attain 7. It is gaining 1 electron, 2 electron, 3 electrons. So correspondingly, its valency is, what you can say, its charges, not valency, its charges. What is that? Minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. So hence they are electronegative in nature. And the one which loses electrons, like sodium, potassium, calcium, they lose electrons because in the outermost shell they are having either 1, 2 or 3 electrons. We can say that. Aluminium has got 3 electrons in the outermost shell. It is going to lose. It is going to lose electrons. It is going to become electropositive because number of positive charge increases. So it is going to become electropositive. Got it now? Clear? So fine, in this way. So there are also certain elements which has got variable valencies. You have studied like iron, it has got valencies Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus. So valency can be 2 or it can be 3. Got it? Valency can be clear. Now next is you have seen it like we are having this copper Cu plus 1 and Cu plus 2. So valency is 1 and 2. Alright. Similarly, you are having that is nothing but copper is there, iron is there, manganese is there, cobalt is there, nickel is there, so many is there. Alright, so many. Basically, you will be studying in higher classes that the elements of the D block, in the periodic table we are having 4 blocks, S block, P block, D block and F block. The elements are belonging to the D block. D block means group 3 to 12. We are having groups also in the periodic table that you will study. I will teach you the periodic table, at that time you will come to know. So the elements belonging to the group 3 to 12, which is called as a D block. Alright, so those elements, they have got variable valencies. They have got variable valencies. Those elements have got. Got it? They have got variable valencies. And hence, they are these elements. We can say manganese, iron, copper, cobalt, nickel, silver, gold, platinum. They have got variable valencies in this way. So there are also certain element which has got variable valencies. So now next is that you came to know that how to draw it, this particular one. Now what you need to do is that you need to draw the structures of all the atoms starting from atomic number 1 to atomic number 20. You will draw it in your notebook. Alright, you will draw it in your notebook from atomic number that is 1, that is hydrogen, to atomic number 20. But first you need to remember all the atomic numbers serially. Alright, so hydrogen, after that we are having helium, then lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, then that is magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium, calcium. In this way, 20 elements. So there is a poem also, you can remember, you can make it and remember it. Like I have made a poem like hydrogen, helium, the first period, hydrogen, helium. So it is ha, he. Then lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. Li, be, be, si, no, fe, ni. Got it? In this way. Ha, he, li, be, be, si, no, fe, ni. Actually helium, hydrogen should be here and helium should be, that is here, because it is a noble gas, inert gas. Then Na, G, Al, C, P, S, color. Na, G, Al, C, P, S, color. Ka, K, potassium, calcium. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. In this way you need to remember it. All the elements according to the particular period. So to say, you need to remember it. Okay, and that is, I said you the last class that why an atom combined with another atom. I said you to attain stable configuration. That's the first reason. And the second reason is that so as to attain the lowest energy. Remember it, when an atom combines with another atom, then the energy is in the lowest state. The potential energy is in the lowest state. So attain stability, the energy should be the lowest. Remember that stability is inversely proportional to energy. Always remember it. If energy is less, stability is more. What I said, stability is inversely proportional to energy. Alright, stability is inversely proportional to energy. Alright, this is stability of an atom is inversely proportional to energy. Of an atom is inversely proportional to energy of an atom. Energy of an atom. Got it? So if energy is less, stability is more. If energy is more, stability is less. So energy always has to be less to become stable. So an atom combines with another atom so as to attain the lowest energetic state, so as to become stable in nature. Got it? Clear? And how it does? By attaining the nearest noble gas configuration. That is either octet or the duplet structure. Got it? So this is all about this particular chapter you need to do. Alright, thank you very much.